Hello everyone, and welcome to another Skyblock episode. This video is going to be a little different because today we're on the Hypixel Alpha Network and we're going to be taking a look at all of the new items coming to Skyblock. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first new thing I want to be talking about is the new NPC called Rosetta. Now, she is located right where the armor smith used to be, and she will sell you some armor sets. The first armor set is normal iron armor with growth 1, diamond armor with growth 1, and then square armor, which is a little more interesting. It gives you health and defense, and then the sword, the square sword, will give you damage and strength. The mercenary armor has an item ability called Death Tax. It'll give you 5 kills and heal 20 health every kill, and it only works on level 10 or more, 10 plus mobs. And mercenary axe, which gives a pretty good amount of damage and a decent amount of strength for 30,000 coins, so kind of like a cheaper version of the raider axe. The next armor is the Celeste set. I think I'm saying that right. It'll give you 5 health, 15 health. All the armor sets give a different amount of stats, but they all give some sort of amount of health, defense, and intelligence, except for the helmets, which doesn't give health. And then there's the Celeste Wand, which has an ability called Lightning Strike. It'll strikes lightning up to 10 blocks away, dealing 75.5 damage to the nearest monster, with a mana cost of 70. So, not a bad starting weapon for only 5,000 coins. The last armor set that she sells is the Starlight set. And if you have a full set, it'll give you the ability called Star Power. It increases the duration of Starfall by 2% or by 2 times, and it has in its range by +1. It's a more expensive armor set, but it looks pretty good. It has a Starlight Wand, which has the ability called Starfall, and just showers stars in a 3-block area for 5 seconds, dealing 94.4 damage per second to mobs within. It has a mana cost of 120 and a cooldown of 2 seconds for $30,000. Let's move on to the next part of the update. The next new item I'm going to be talking about is the Artisanal Short Bow. You can buy it at the Weaponsmith for a price of only 600 coins, so it's a pretty good early game bow. Because it is a short bow, it'll instantly shoot, so there's no drawback. As you can see, you don't have to do the drawback animation, so it makes it a pretty fast shooting bow. And also it gives plus 40 damage. Let's move on to the next thing. The next thing I'm going to go over is a new NPC called Jax. Jax will show you a bunch of different types of new arrows, so let's go over them all. For starters, all normal arrows are going to be converted into Flint Arrows once the update is released. The Flint Arrows just have +1 damage. The reinforced iron arrows give +5 damage, gold tipped arrows have +10 damage, redstone tipped arrows have +15 damage, and the emerald tipped arrows have +20 damage. All of the arrows I'm about to showcase from now on will have custom abilities, which is pretty cool. The bounce arrows have +5 damage, and the arrows have a 50% chance to bounce to another target. The arrows will bounce up to 4 targets with each bounce dealing 50% less damage. The icy arrows give +24 damage, and it applies slowness 1 for 3 seconds to targets. The armor shred arrows have defense reduction, which is what the ability is called. The hits ignore 5% of the target's defense. The explosive arrows have +3 damage, and the arrow will explode after 2 seconds or on impact. The explosion deals the arrow's damage split to mobs within 2.5 blocks. You will lose 10% of your health if you are in the explosion. Glue arrows have the passive called Stuck in Glue, and it'll prevent victims from walking for 1.5 seconds when hit, which is a pretty cool ability. The Nanzorb arrows replaces the damage reduction from the piercing enchant to Skewer. The Skewer ability is the hits through piercing deal plus 7.5% damage than the previous one up to 5 victims. All of these arrows have, well, not all of them, but some of these arrows will have a cost, which some of them are a requirement. Some of them you need to have a certain combat skill or a certain collection. Some of them combined, and like this one you can see you need 8 enchanted cactus green. And if you're wondering what the target practice is, that is this thing over here. This target practice is a new feature which is pretty much, it's pretty self-explanatory. You have to stand on this pressure plate and shoot all of the lanterns in a certain amount of time. There are 3 stages to this, and so first you have to shoot all the arrows or all of the lanterns in 25 seconds, then 15 seconds, and then 12 seconds. I have done all of the target practices except for the last one, so yeah. And then you can't access all these new arrows until you've completed the first target practice, and then you can only buy some of these arrows. You can only buy these arrows with target practice 1, and then you need target practice 2 to get the icy arrows and the bouncy arrows, and then target practice 3 to get all of the rest. Then there's also this Aeroswapper, which allows you to select the arrow type you want to take priority in your quiver, which I kind of wish they would have this thing for bait, because I believe that they don't have it, but it would be really nice to see that. And then, yeah, those are all of the new types of arrows, and the Aeroswapper, which, by the way, only costs 1,000 coins, so it's a really cool thing. And I believe you just put it in your quiver, probably, I'd assume. Oh, no, you don't. I don't know what you do, but you can select all the types of arrows. And like I said, all the arrows are being replaced with Flint Arrows, as you can see. So if you want to have a pretty cool item, you can put your a normal arrow in an item frame, and then once this item or update is released, you won't be able to obtain that arrow anymore, because all of the arrows that weren't in an item frame will be converted into Flint Arrows. So if you want to have a cool item, then do that. The last thing we're going to be taking a look at is actually on the main server. If you head inside of the community center, you will see there is a new city project called the Weaponsmith Workshop. Once the city project is complete, everything we just took a look at on the alpha server will be released onto the main server. The funding is only at 6.3%, but of course this will go up all the way up until 100%. If you take a look at all the perks that you can get from contributing, you'll see that if you contribute 4 times, you'll get a 1-day head start to the update. If you contribute 8 times, you'll get a 2-day head start. 16 times, you'll get a 5% discount at Jack's, and if you contribute 24 times, you get a 10% discount at Jack's. You can contribute more than 24 times, but you just won't get any perks after the 24th time contribution. That is going to be it for today's video, so make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and tell me in the comments how you feel about this new update. So until next time, I will see you guys all later. Bye.